Okay. So just finding a comfortable seat, an extended tall spine. Just close down your eyes. Start to experience some deeper breaths where you expand your lungs and feel your rib cage expanding. And then releasing the air, and we'll start to sync our breath. So inhaling through your nose. Exhaling with a sigh through your mouth. And just doing that again. Continue to breathe in through the nose, feeling the length of your spine, sitting up tall, and then exhaling with a sigh. Dropping the shoulders. Expanding your lungs. Next time that you inhale, you're going to fill up your lungs and hold your breath in. When you feel your lungs are at their fullest, just hold the breath, drop your shoulders, feel your sits bones, and then expand your lungs a little more. Breathe in just a little more, holding in the breath. And sigh it out. Inhaling to the fullest expression of that breath in. So filling, and just holding it. When you hold it, consciously relax your physical body. Take in more air, holding the breath. And out it goes. Drawing it out a little more. So breathing in big and full. And then just holding it. And as you hold it, just settle mentally, physically. Just settling. To notice the elasticity of your lungs. Breathe in more. Another sip. Fullest expression here. Noticing your rib cage expanded. Holding in that breath. And holding it. With a sigh, let it out. Now, inhale through your nose, filling your lungs. Holding in the breath. Exhaling through your nose. Through your nose, letting it out, and hold the breath out. Inhale. And hold. Exhale. And hold. Relax your belly as you breathe in. Soften the shoulders and hold the breath. Releasing the breath as you feel the length of your spine. And hold the breath. Soften your mind. Feel your body. Breathe in. One more cycle, holding in the breath at the top. So pulling. And drop into hold. Holding your breath. And releasing your breath. Every last drop out. And leaving it out, holding there. Inhale. Exhale. Now we're going to move a little quicker. So inhaling and exhaling at your rate. Even allowing the breath to come in through the mouth and out through your mouth. Just go intuitively with and noticing the solar plex area of your body below your sternum, just moving, undulating forward and back. Step into that rhythm. Breathe in, reach your arms up. And breathe out, reach your hands forward and down. Start to shift your bolster or block away from you as you reach your hands forward. Drawing your hands over to one side. So your heart drops over top of your knee. And then as you breathe in, settling back into center point, reaching forward. Exhale, reach over to the other side. Starting to just sync our breath a little here. So inhaling is a really great time to straighten the spine and find a neutral position. So reaching forward. And then exhaling to drop into a deeper stretch. And just moving from one side to the other as you breathe. And inhaling back to center point. Exhale, reaching forward. Inhaling, your arms stretch up to the sky. And then exhaling, your hands behind you. Inhaling, lifting up your heart to look up. And exhaling, moving now to the left elbow, dropping it or hand to the ground. Inhale, lift your right arm overhead. And then exhale, transition to the right. Inhaling your arm. Transition, see if you can go maybe a little bit deeper. Elbow might be able to touch. And you start this. The guidance with your breath begins here. So it's the breath that you listen to. Maneuvering you from one shape to the next. And stepping fully into the feeling aspect of your body. Exhale your arms forward. Hands behind you. Inhale, lift your chest. As your hands come forward, transition to tabletop. So coming onto your hands and your knees. Now just start to move your spine. So inhaling, lifting up your chest, and exhaling to drop your head. And just keep transitioning here, moving your spine. forward and back, and quite possibly you'll do some circles from side to side. And start your intuitive movement, knowing that you can adjust any pose, any position to suit you. And then on your exhalation, with your toes tucked under, lean back and reach your hands forward as far as they will go. Spread your fingers wide and notice your hands are shoulder distance apart. On your inhale, come forward to a plank, onto your hands, lifting your knees. And when you exhale, back into that crouching child's pose where the knees touch. Your hands are forward. And we just start to move with the breath. So inhaling forward to plank. And if you want to create more heat, don't actually drop your knees. So it's like a crouching dog pose. So forward to plank and then back to the crouching dog or child's pose. And then just start to feel out. So around your shoulders, starting to find some engagement here. And just checking out where your body's at. How does it feel around your joints? Stiff, constricted, or light and free? And just notice it. Coming forward to plank and then lowering down to your belly. Your knees might need to touch first. So as you come to your belly, you're going to roll your shoulders back and lifting up your chest into a little cobra. So the elbows stay quite bent and then lower down. And we're just working, slowly progressing our movement. So inhaling to come up a little bit higher even, and then lowering down. And we'll just do this one more time. Cobra. And just really igniting our back body, firing that up, and then lower down. Take your hands off your mat, and so the fingertips touch the ground, and we're just going to roll the shoulders forward. So it's like rolling your shoulder one at a time in a circular motion, rolling forward. It's all about just really starting to lubricate the shoulder joint. Creating movement. Even for your neck, you might want to look from side to side. And then take both your shoulders, roll them forward, and now start to roll the shoulders back. So one at a time, rolling the shoulder back. And then take both your shoulders, roll them down. Roll the shoulders back as you lift up your chest and push into your fingertips. Start to lift your chest up. As you lift your chest, you can take your pinky fingers and lift them, and then maybe start to take your ring finger, middle finger, and just start to play with lifting your fingers completely off the ground if it's possible. And so just feeling out the back body here today. And then lower yourself down. You can tuck your toes under, lift your kneecaps off the ground, and hug your elbows in close to your torso, so your hands under your shoulders. Now, knowing that you can push away from the ground with your body like a plank, or you can keep your knees down, you might know what's best. So pushing away as you rise into a high plank and pulling your hips back into a downward facing dog. In your downward dog, just start to pedal your heels up and down. Your hips can shift from side to side. And just finding a lot of movement here for your body. A lot of movement. So we're just warming up. All right. And
your downward facing dog, lift up your right leg up towards the sky. And when you exhale, just slow motion, pull your knee forward, touch it to your nose maybe, and step your foot forward. Drop your back knee to the ground. With your right hand on your right knee, lift your left arm up. If your back knee is really sensitive on the floor, you can always lift the knee right off the ground. So lift up and stretch over to the right. Right hand can touch down or stay on the knee. Stretch up and over. Take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, straighten out the front leg and frame your foot with your hands. So forehead drops down. As you inhale, travel your hands forward, lift your back knee into a low lunge. And then leaning forward all the way till you come to the top of your left foot. And so we're just going to play a little bit with the feet. So as you push the top of your foot down on the ground, you might start to lift your fingers, eventually rising all the way up if that's possible. And if it hurts, keep your hands on the ground. So do what works for you, okay? And then roll that left foot back so that your toes are tucked under, and left hand is going to lift your right arm up towards the sky. So entering this twist, take a breath in. And then exhale, turn to the left foot, and you're going to come all the way around to the other side. Now facing the back of your mat, you drop your back knee. Take your left hand to your knee, and then the right arm is going to reach up to the sky. So the right arm is reaching up, and now you're going to reach up and over to the left. Left hand is going to come to the floor or to the knee. We just do the same, but other side. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, straighten the front leg, half split. Forehead dropping down. As you travel forward to a low runner's lunge, you frame your front foot, which is the left foot, and lift your back heel. Okay, and then start to lean forward onto the top of the right foot. And slowly starting to lift your fingers, quite possibly hovering them for a moment or two. And then if it comes, you rise all the way up into a lunge while staying on the top of the foot. Stay here and breathe for 3, for 2. And as your hands come back to the floor, roll over the foot. Toes tuck under, and right hand is below the shoulder. Left arm is going to reach up into the twist. Good. And then when you exhale, turn to the right and travel back around to this right foot facing the front of your mat. Low lunge. Lean forward and lift this left foot up. Arms are going to stretch out to the sides first. And then just activate your left foot and feel everything start to hug and pull into your center line. And then from here, we're going to rise to stand. So you're going to come upright. And as you come up, the left foot is going to slowly lower down to the floor. Inhale, lift your arms up towards the sky. And then take your hands together, front of the heart, clasp the fingers, push your hands away and forward. Lift up and stretch over to the right. As you inhale, back up to center and exhale to the left. And we're going to go one more time to each side. So come back up and to the right. And then back up and over to the left. Okay, when you come back up to center, flip the palms so that they face each other. Hands are in prayer, just cross your thumbs. And then lift up and over to the right. You're going to release this right hand and just press it onto the side of your leg. As you lift your chest up, and just continue to imagine yourself lifting up and over to the right as you stretch the left side. Hips moving further to the left. Straighten out both of your legs. Gazing forward. And stay here and breathe. For 3. For 2. And for 1. Now come back up to center. Reach both your arms up to the sky. And as you exhale, hinge forward, folding, bending your knees to transition. Inhale to a halfway lift, a lengthening of your spine. And exhale, hands to the floor, left foot stepping back. Left hand plants, and the right arm reaches up. Start to roll over to the outer edge of the left foot, and step your right foot halfway back. Good. Now really press into the outer edge of that left foot, and see if you can move the right side of the hip up. Look up. Sweep the right arm long so that your arm comes closer to your ear. Stretch up and over and look up. Take a breath in. And then exhale a downward facing dog. Come forward to high plank. And on your exhale, lower halfway or all the way to the ground. As you inhale, it's upward dog or cobra. And exhale to downward facing. Take your left leg up now. Back of the heel to the sky, breathing in, and then slowly bringing your knee to your nose, maybe touching your knee to your nose. Stepping forward into a low lunge. Drop your back knee. Now we're just going to move a little quicker. So left hand beside or on your knee and your right arm coming long. And then exhale, straightening out your front left leg. Inhale, looking forward into a low lunge. Lift your back knee. And continue to come forward onto the top of the foot. Inhale, your arms come up, high lunge. And then exhale, turn over onto the toe, hands come to the ground. Breathe in, lengthen your spine, and then exhale, turn to the right. Go travel all the way around to the back and drop your back knee. Inhale, left arm goes over to the right. Right hand can drop and stretch up and over this way. And then exhale, straighten out the right leg, half split, forehead to knee. Forward, lift your back knee all the way onto the top of the foot. And then inhale, your arms come up. Good, and then hands come back down and turn over the toes. Lengthen your spine and flip back around to the left foot, traveling to the front. Leaning forward, coming forward to lift your back foot up off the ground. Arms are going to open to the sides, an airplane variation. Lower the right hip. And start to, again, just really noticing how your body is going to work together, like all aspects of you. Feeling the center point. Just really feeling into the tissues and matter of your physical body here, working together. And then as you inhale, standing up slowly and controlled as the right foot comes to the ground. Inhale, both arms come up to the sky. Hands in prayer, just cross your thumbs and lift up and over now to the left. Hips move to the right. And as you lift up and over, left hand is going to come down to your left leg, bringing your hips to the right as you straighten out both legs. Lift up and over. And breathe. And then finding your edge and just playing with it a little bit. Right shoulder back. Stay here for 3. Breathe for 2. And 1. Coming all the way back up to center. Reach both arms up. Now take your hands behind your back, or head, sorry. And the elbows are going to come in shoulder distance. Bend your knees a little bit. Lift your elbows up to the sky and drop your head into your hands. Starting to lean back slightly. Your legs can start to straighten as your hips move forward. And either continuing to hold your head or releasing the grip, maybe even to place your hands behind your back. And just going deeper as your body says. And then coming back to center, looking forward. Reaching your hands in front of you, let your knees bend down, and take your hands now just to notice the space between your feet. And you just want to get your feet hip distance, feet parallel. Reach your hands forward in front of you. And then as you inhale, your arms are going to reach up. You're going to lift your right knee. And when you exhale, you're going to go back down here. Inhale to lift your left knee. And then just start to smooth out that movement, just like your breath. So nice and flowy and smooth. Okay, on the next inhale where the left knee lifts up and your arms lift up towards the sky, you're going to open your knee to the side. Left hand is going to press inside your knee as your right arm reaches out. Okay, and then you're going to take the knee forward and the right hand is going to come to that knee as your left arm reaches back, looking back. And then you're again going to open up and change your arm. So left hand, left knee open. Maybe even turn your gaze. And then back to center. All right, and then as you continue to move and flow, see if holding your big toe is an option. If you open up that way, then you can place the right hand to left foot, side to side. We'll just do another cycle of opening, having the knee or toe forward. And then coming back to center. Bend your left knee, take your palms, shine them forward, and then extending, actually just put your foot back down on the ground. All right, so inhale, your arms come up towards the sky, and as you exhale, hinge forward, folding. Halfway lift, lengthen your spine, and step now the right foot back. Plant your right hand, easy twist, lifting the left arm up towards the sky. And transition to the side plank where the left foot goes halfway back and you find your right foot, the outer edge, pressing down to the ground. Then take your left arm and bring it closer to your ear as you extend. Get longer through the whole left side. And breathe. Staying here for 3, for 2, and on 1, downward facing dog, traveling forward to high plank in your chaturanga. So if that's lowering down to the belly, do that. Otherwise, halfway to the floor, an upward dog or cobra, and back into downward dog. Take a breath in, and when you breathe out, bend your knees. Look forward, step, walk, or hop forward. Take an inhale to halfway lift. And then exhale and fold. As you fold, separate your feet so that they're hip distance. Bend your knees. Float the fingers and stretch forward with your hands as you sit into a chair. Pressing into the left foot, inhale, lift your arms, lift your right knee, and exhale to go back into the chair. And then just keep going to the rhythm of your breath, smoothing it out. Okay, next time the right knee lifts up, you're going to stay there, hold the knee inside, and reach your left hand out. And then come back to center and take your left hand now to your right knee. Open up, a twist, and then knee opens and left arm out. Sync your breath to this movement. Activate the right foot. Inhale. And then from here, if you did so on the other side, when you open up, reaching for the big toe, extending out. And then when you come back for the twist, your left hand to your foot. One more to open. And forward to twist. And then come back to center. Bend your right knee. Take your arms, reach them up towards the sky. Stretch up. And as you exhale, feet down and your knees bend, sitting into a chair. Sitting down low. Reaching your hands out in front of you. Gather your hands in front of your heart. Interlock your fingers. Press your palms away. Straightening the arms and then lifting your arms up and overhead as you lean into your heels. And then as you transition to warrior three with your arms like this, the left heel is going to lift and you're going to extend the leg back. And then keeping your arms, start to lift your left hip and see if you can go into half moon. So lifting your left hip. And if holding your arms like that causes you not to be able to breathe, then take your hands together in prayer or hand on hip. Or even hands behind your back. And stay here and breathe for 3, for 2. Looking down first. Hands are going to come to the floor. Start to lower the left hip as you find standing split. So the left leg is going to continue to lift up to the sky as you look to your big toe, to your heel, and eventually to the back of your mat. Bending the right knee as you need. Now start to feel your spine. So halfway lift of your chest as you breathe in, and then breathing out, moving closer, belly to thigh. Eventually hugging this leg. Hands can move behind the right calf. Staying to breathe. Continually feeling into your spine through this progressive movement. One more inhale. And as you breathe out, left foot is gently going to come to the ground behind you and your back knee touches the floor. Take your arms up to the sky. Hands in prayer, just turn to the right. First, look to the right, and then bring your elbow to the knee. A twist. Very slowly, with your elbow on the knee, you can even start to lift your back knee away from the ground. Good. And breathe. Awesome. Look down. Take your right fingers in front of the right toes. Lift the back foot. And one more time, lifting into half moon. So where your whole left side body open, or front side body, opens to the left. Now as you come up to stand, slowly keeping this left hip open as possible and rising up to take your left foot inside of your right leg. Right arm reaches up, then your left arm reaches up for tree. Arms can stretch out to the sides. Now whatever you wish to do with your arms, if you want to keep moving your arms or just keeping them in one spot. I particularly have a thing for side bends, so I'm going to take the back of my left hand inside my knee as my right arm reaches over. And then as you inhale, come back up to center. Bring your left knee forward and extend your left foot in front of you. We're almost going to give this right leg a break. So just lift your left leg and then slowly extend the leg back as you fly into airplane. Bending the right knee and see if you can slowly drop the foot, slow as can be. Very slow. Arms are going to reach forward. And your back toes touch the ground. Bend your left knee and lift your right toes. Forehead can drop to your knee. And if you want to go a little deeper, a little further, your hands can move over to the right side of your leg, where your forehead drops down. And then coming forward. Now with your hands on the floor, you're just going to move that foot over to the left. And you're going to creep this left knee forward. So now you take your toes, the front toes, you tuck them under. And you're balancing on the knee, yeah. So if you tuck your toe under, it just sort of helps with keeping things level. And then just place your hands onto your low back, feeling your hips. And some of you might just like have a very tiny movement in the pelvis, dropping the right hip slightly and starting to lean back. And so if looking up, if you're at your edge, just please stay there. Otherwise, dropping the right shoulder down to your back heel as your left arm reaches up. And so please just listen to your body, what's appropriate for you. Take a breath in, and then slowly coming out as you lean back with your hips and arms are going to reach forward. Now taking the back foot slightly forward as you come all the way back to sit. So if your hips aren't level, you can always keep your right shin in front of you like so. Otherwise, you want to stack your joints as much as you can. Take your hands behind you, sitting up tall. And then exhaling to hinge forward. Every time you breathe in, that's an opportunity to lengthen your spine. And the exhalation is for just dropping in deeper. Deeper into the stretch. And just be here for that. For a nice long stretch. For creating space in your body. Two more breaths here. Okay. So when you come up, turn to the left to that foot. You're going to put that foot down. You're going to spin. So lifting your knees, spin. So you're now facing the back of your mat, but your feet are wide. So you're in Malasana facing the back of your mat. So separate your feet quite a lot so that your heels can be on the floor. And gather your hands to your heart as you drop your hips. Good. Straightening your spine as your hands move together closer, feeling the length of your spine, the vibrancy of your heart here. And then from here, walk your hands to the back of your mat. So you're in a downward dog facing the back edge of your mat. Lifting up your right leg. Bend your right knee, open your hip, and on your exhalation, bring your knee forward. Big giant step into a high runner's lunge. So coming all the way up, hands come to your heart. Good. A warrior two. So opening to the side now as your back heel connects to the floor. Good. Arms reach apart. Inhale, the right palm reaches up. Reach up and over, reversing your warrior. And then your side long angle, the elbow drops down to your knee. And your right hand extends towards your foot as your left arm reaches up. So right hand to your foot and left arm to the sky. Good. And then on your exhalation, you're going to start to lift your right heel and bend at your left knee. Start to lean into the left foot. Lifting. So let's go back into that variation where you bend your right knee. Your left arm is reaching up. It's like a triangle variation. So right knee is bent, left leg is straight. That's it. And then we're just going to play with this a few times. So bending into your left knee as you straighten your right leg. And you can even like bow to the back foot. Okay, and let's do it again. Back into the triangle. Exhale, bow. Sync the breath. Inhale, triangle. Exhale, bow. Look to the left, to the front part of your mat, and just pivot, pivot, pivot. So you're in a low lunge, hands to the floor, step back, plank, and chaturanga. Upward facing dog or cobra, and downward facing dog. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, bend your knees. Hop, step, or walk forward to the top of your mat. Separate your feet, hip distance, halfway lift. Fold as you breathe out. And bend your knees. Hands sweep the floor, then reaching forward, sitting into a chair. Engaging your legs. Feeling your spine. Front body awake. Press into the left foot now and inhale, lift up the right knee. Arms are going to reach up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, you're going to extend your foot back behind you. Open your arms into airplane. As you start to lift your right hip, your shoulders open to the right, and you enter half moon. And breathing. And then start to drop the right hip. So you come back into the airplane position. And your hands are going to come to your heart. You're going to interlock your fingers and push your palms forward. From here, now open into half moon. And if it becomes too much, take your hands behind your back or on your hips. Continue to turn your whole torso to the right. Keep your right foot alive, active. Breathe and stay here strong for 3, for 2. And then look down and release your hands to the floor. Start to lower the right hip, but keep your right foot up. Moving towards this standing split. So your head's coming closer to your leg. And just becoming aware of your body in space. So focusing on the right heel as it lifts. Folding, getting your belly closer to your left thigh. Breathing slow. You can do it. Lift your chest. And for the last exhalation, folding in. Left fingers in front of your toe. Half moon one more time. And then slowly lifting all the way up, we arrive in tree. So the right foot is going to come to your inner thigh. And your left hand reaches up. The right hand reaches up. Arms reach out. You can stay here. You can take the back of your right hand inside your knee as you stretch over. Up and over. And then slowly coming back up to center. Take your right knee forward. Extend your leg in front of you. And then very slowly extending the leg back Very slowly bending your left knee, arms reaching out, back as you slowly, slowly release your toes to the ground. Take your right knee to the floor, hands come to your heart, lengthen your spine and turn yourself now to the left. Right elbow touches your knee as you twist. Twisting now to the left as you breathe. Getting your heart above your hips. Getting your head above your heart. Twist. Twist, twist. Okay, and then coming back forward, lifting your arms, pressing into the left foot as you lift your back knee and your hands come to the floor. Okay, your right foot now comes to the left and you take your back knee in, tuck your front toes under, and your hands are going to come to your back body. Starting to lift up and over as your left hand maybe drops down. That same progression, just other side. And feeling your pelvis in space as you come back to center. Quite possible you need to just adjust the left hip down slightly. And then lean back, taking the back foot now to the side of your mat as you sit down. You can take your left foot in front of you or stack your joints, same as the other side. Hands behind you, sit up tall. And then when you exhale, just moving in, deepening the stretch. Just slowing down your breath. Your longer exhales help to release tension in your nervous system. All right, and then sitting upright, left foot. So we'll do this together. So you bring your foot to the ground, your top foot. And all you do is turn to the back of your mat, lift your butt and your knees, and just pivot. Now your feet are wide and you're facing the back of your mat. So feet are nice and wide so that your heels can be down. And then your hands can come closer together. And as your hips lower, your heart lifts. This full extension happening here. And then bringing your hands in front of you, downward facing dog. Lift up your left leg now. Bend your knee and just open your hip. So feeling that opening. And then as you exhale, pulling your knee forward, maybe to your nose first. And a step into a high runner's lunge. So your arms reach up to the sky. From here, gather your hands to your heart and twist to the left. So right elbow drops to your knee. Engage through the back leg as you twist. As you engage your back leg, it straightens out. And then on the inhalation, rise into warrior two, turning to that long edge of your mat. arms reaching apart. As the right hand drops to your back leg, your left arm lifts up, breathe in, and then slowly coming forward to the elbow is inside of your left knee. Hand reaches down as your right arm reaches up. And then we're just going to feel into this as you straighten your right leg, and we're just going to shift one leg being straight and the other one bent. So as you exhale, bending into the right knee, lifting your left toes, and then back again. Exhale to the right foot, and then inhale back into that triangle. And we'll do 2 more flowing cycles of this. One more. And then pivot now towards the front, towards the right foot. All right, take your left knee to the ground. Left hand is also going to be on the floor. Extend your right foot back. So this is a side plank variation where you could stay like so, or you could go into the full side plank where both of your legs are straight. And then if you want to lift a leg up, you can do so. And if you feel like going into Wild Thing, placing your right foot behind you and going deeper into a back bend. And then as you come back over the right leg up to the sky, you're going to take the right knee forward to your right wrist, sitting up tall. So as you sit up tall here, your hands can maybe lift off the ground or might need to stay down, but just feeling that out. And there's an action like you want to drag your right hip back. If it's possible to lift your arms up, do so. And then slowly coming down to your elbows. Lift your back left knee for a moment just to steer your hips level. Right it back, lift it forward, and then lower everything down. Settle into a sea of a few breaths. The ebb and flow cycle of giving and receiving air. And then when you come upright with your chest, you can bend your back knee and with your right hand hold your foot. And if that's not possible, you can always just stay upright and reach towards the back. Good. And then we'll just take both hands to the floor. Flow that out, downward dog, forward to plank, and chaturanga. Upward dog. And downward dog. Tabletop, coming onto your knees, both knees. The left foot is going to extend back into a side plank variation, left arm up. Or you can stay right here. You can put your foot down and extend the other leg back also. And if both of your legs are straight, you can move into tree, which takes you into Wild Thing. If you want to go further. Where you gently come back over and the left knee is going to come forward to your wrist. Pitch another side. So you can sit up tall. And just finding engagement here. So like you want to drag the left hip back Right hip forward, and if it's possible, arms up. When you're ready, coming down to your elbows, forehead rests on the floor or your hands, and just enter that audible oceanic sound of breath moving. Your best teacher, guide for the practice. And then you can come upright and bend your back knees. Your left hand reaches for it. If you did on the other side, of course. And then as you release that foot, drop your left hip and turn to the right long edge of your mat. Both of your legs are going to extend out as wide as they can go. Now, I'll give you another option. So if holding your feet out like this is just like kind of excruciating, like it does not feel like you're, like if you feel like it's like hard, do it on your back where your legs are out and you hold your legs. You're going to get more out of it by doing it this way. Eventually, like holding inside your knees, at least then you're not going to feel the pain of your low back, especially. It's going to restrict you. Yeah, and so you can stay like that on your back, resting your head to the floor. And if you're seated, you're going to extend your chest between your legs, coming forward. And see if you can wake up your feet a little bit. So just activate your feet. And just really tuning into your spine, the structure of your spine. If you're on your back, you're straightening it, pressing it down to the floor. As your feet activate and extend out. And if you're leaning forward, there's a slight adjustment with every inhale where your chest is pulling forward. And then on the exhale, you're just sort of like leaning in. We'll stay for just 3 more cycles of breath wherever you're at. Okay, and then if you're on your back, you're going to enter Happy Baby, where you bend your knees and hold your feet from the inside. And if you're seated, you're going to turn yourself to the front of your mat, grab a hold of your big toes, and just roll back into Happy Baby. So your knees are bent, you're inching your low back closer to the floor, maybe even rocking and rolling forward and back a few times. Massaging out any fire that you might feel in your low back. And so if it's a real struggle to hold onto the foot, your right hand is going to creep down to your right knee and you're going to bend your foot, and the left leg is going to fully extend to the ground, straight away from your heart. And so you can continue to hold on to your big toe and pull your knee towards your armpit. A supine twist where your knee comes now across your body over to the left. And you can hook your foot around the other leg. Twist, right arm is going to extend out. A twist. And then just staying for an extra few moments here. Almost like you mentally massage your right glute or wherever you feel tension. Maybe it's in your low back. Maybe it's in your chest. But just mentally massage, unravel. And then when you come back to center your back body on the floor, bend your left knee. Take your hands behind your right leg. And then forehead is going to come up to touch your right knee or shin. As you release that foot, put your ankle on top of your left knee. Figure 4, so your knee's just out to the side, and reach your hands between your leg to hold the front of your shin or the back of your leg. Just stay for a couple breaths here. Resting your head to the floor. And if your head does not touch the mat, you might get enough by keeping your left foot on the floor and just pressing your knee away from you. And release that. Shake out the legs. Bend your left knee, holding on to the knee or the big toe, and extend your right leg to the floor. Left hand can continue to hold your big toe or the foot. And then the knee is going to come across your body for a twist, supine, knee to the floor or towards the floor. And your left arm extending out, twist. Just sitting with that for a few extended breaths here. Now when you bring that leg back to center, you're just going to take your right knee bent, right foot on the floor. And hands are going to just reach up behind the legs so the forehead comes closer to your knee. And then the ankle lowers down to the top of the right leg, and your hands sweep behind the leg or not. Just see what you can do while still keeping your head on the floor. All right. And then lifting your legs up towards the sky. Press into your elbows and lift your hips up as well. So a shoulder stand. Your feet lift up to the sky. And then you can play with it one leg at a time. That one of your knees lowers down towards your forehead. And maybe those toes also touch the floor. And you just sort of like you're slowly swimming or running one leg at a time. Till eventually it feels right for both of your knees to touch the forehead or close. Or maybe your toes come to the ground overhead. And then very slowly, bone by bone, you unravel to the ground, where you take one last breath and out. And you settle into, bless you, a very calm, settled, resting place. In this Shavasana, just paying attention to this almost integration of all that movement, medicine for your physical body. Just so that you can step a little closer into hearing, noticing, paying attention to the wisdom of your physical body. Also a chance to continue to release any tension built up in your nervous system. Undoing the knots that you might feel that has been gathered in some places. And then step away from so much doing into more being. And you can unravel any of the tension you might be holding in your face. When we try to do something or we're efforting, there's tension usually in the skin somewhere. And so, stepping into the being. And so if you're practicing online, I will bid you farewell. So namaste and thank you for practicing here. You can stay longer in your Shavasana or slowly come out of it.